You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Hollow and Tell, is that you?
Mic check, waifu. Tell, is that you?
And you know it is, man. What's happening, bro?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Always good, man. Look, I don't work for anybody anymore.
Hey, that's
Beautiful.
that has to be a wonderful feeling. Well, this is episode 98. Mic check, waifu. Did I forget already? It's 98, right?
Yeah, it is 98. I was looking at your shirt. So, is that Good Mythical Morning?
It is a Good Mythical Morning shirt. Hey, this is episode 98 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure y'all go to lubecomplex.com and use that offer code Waifu to save on your entire cart. Shout out to Lube Complex. They drops, again, have been crazy good. So make sure you use that offer code Waifu whenever you shop Lube Complex. And when you do rock your Lube Complex gear, make sure you tag us in the photos along with Lube Complex. We'd appreciate that. It's also brought to you by Don'tTalkShop.com. Use the offer code Waifu15 to save there. And shout out to our Patreon producers. Tell, I got a special shout out.
Let's do it.
For the Patreon producers. We have, well, she's not new. She's been rocking with us for a very, very long time at the Senpai tier. But she just bumped up her pledge to Weeb, which means that she is now a producer of the Mic Check Waifu podcast. And Ashanti at It's Me Shanti on Twitter. Shout out to you, girl. Thank you so much for supporting us. So much. We appreciate that. Not only her, we also have Aaron Brown, Connor, explicitly Monique Williams, Treeses. Thank y'all so much for always producing this and a bunch of other episodes of the podcast. We appreciate y'all way too much. Way too much. Not enough, actually. We don't appreciate you enough. Oh, hey, this is episode 98. So before we get into episode 98, we are going to, I got a question for you, Tel.
What's up?
Please explain to me. And I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, it irritates me. How do you feel how do you feel about the term American anime?
I mean, I don't know, because I guess like even if it's American made, I don't consider it like really like anime.
Yes, it's not.
But like I guess the term itself don't bother me. It's more of the fact that like, why do we call it? Like we can't like we have not called Avatar: The Last Airbender anime, even though it has the entire art style. Like we say it's as close to anime as America's gonna get, but it's not, you know. So
it's influenced by anime. Now I just saw it on Twitter, and now it wasn't like a big conversation on Twitter, thank gosh. It was just like a small piece of Twitter, of the Twitterverse, that decided to have these conversations, and then it irritated me because I don't get why people don't understand the contradiction between American and the word anime. Like that it just doesn't, it's a contradiction in itself, because if that's the case, it is, the definition of anime is a Japanese style animation of animation. Like it kind of blew my mind when I saw it on the timeline. I'm like, no, please tell me this isn't like a real conversation. But it was only like a small piece of the Twitterverse. So I was like, okay, I'll let it go then.
I mean, some people are I've seen it a few times, like when Cannon Busters came out, and I was like, you know, I get it, but also it's not.
It's not. Well, for one, Cannon Busters was developed in Japan.
True, but wasn't it like written by like an American author or something like that?
No, I mean the writing doesn't.
It's the animation.
Yeah, anime is in terms of the animation. So
yeah, of course.
Like Yasuke, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit later. That was also written by an American, but developed by an anime studio, or produced by an anime studio. So it's just a weird weird conversation. And I guess the main reason why I brought that up is because Invincible was talked about because somebody said something ridiculous about.
How do you put Invincible in the anime category?
I don't fucking know, man. And that's why I don't even know why I'm even bringing this conversation up, because it was.
Okay. How do we skip DC and Marvel in that conversation?
Don't know. But somebody got on somebody for saying, y'all want everything to be weebified so bad or something, like, because they quoted and called, Invincible an American anime, which, again, he's right. Like, it's not an American anime. It's just a Western cartoon. Like, you can't just know. It's not
even the same thing.
It's not even the same thing at all. So, like, no. I don't know. It's stupid. Speaking of Invincible, we both finished and watched Invincible.
Yes.
General thoughts, bro. What do you feel about Invincible?
I think the character himself need some fighting lessons.
Okay.
Because that man is anything but invincible.
Yeah.
The show itself actually was thoroughly surprised by.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Real good. Kind of blew me back. I'm like, oh, this shit real good.
Yeah.
It's definitely, what I love about it is that, like, how Robert Kirkman-fied it is, if that's it's a word now.
It's not afraid to get dark.
Yeah, it's not afraid to get that dark, gruesome,
explode your face.
Yes. I like that. I like that a lot about this show. So if you haven't seen Invincible, skip ahead, because we're gonna talk about Invincible a little bit. Man. So the first episode, it had me.
Oh, okay.
It had me.
I mean, the first episode was good though.
Yeah, it was real good. All of it was real good. Yeah. But it did. It had me like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. The ending of the first episode really made me like, what? What is happening here?
Wait a minute.
That's not what I was expecting.
Were you like me? Did you feel like it was mind control?
I knew something else was going on, but what is going on, what we found out in the final episode, is exactly what I actually said it was. I was like, yo, what if this is what it is?
Yeah, I didn't figure that out until like the third episode.
That made sense though. Once you kind of thought about it, it was like, yeah, because we got certain responsibilities that other people don't. What responsibilities you got, man?
Exactly. So it took me a while, but man, holy shit. I feel like this was like one of those shows that came out of nowhere and definitely like flew up the charts. Like, there's no other place this could be other than Amazon Prime or like HBO Max or some shit. For one.
I had no idea what this show was until it released. And then I saw a lot of hype for it, and I was skeptical about watching it. I wasn't going to watch it because I've been tired of watching shows that people hype up. And they're just not good. But nah, thoroughly surprised. Turned this on. It was good. And the progression of things didn't seem bad. Like a lot of shows that have like less than 12, 24 episodes, sometimes the progression is just so bad that it actually ruins the show for me. But this one didn't do that. With 8 episodes, it made everything flowed well. And it could be the fact that everything was like 45 minutes long. That's exactly, so it kind of fit everything into place. But I guess I'll talk about that more when we get to Yasuke. But I preferred this storytelling and its time frame in comparison to others with like similar ranges, but like 30 minutes or something. Bro,
it was so perfectly paced that I felt like a part of the world as it grew on. Like, the episodes didn't feel too bloated or anything like that, like some shows do. It didn't feel like it was missing anything. I felt like, how are they going to do this in 8 episodes was my thought. And then they did it. Like,
they did it.
The story progressed and it was flawless. I love, what do you think about that Amber character? Because on Twitter, she's getting a lot of hate about who she is and what she's about, which I don't understand, but
there's a couple of things, right? So like, I get why people are frustrated with her because of the whole fact that she knows Mark is a superhero, and yet she still, through the hissy fits and stuff she had, it's like, literally, ma'am, I was almost dead, and you were like, "Where did you go, ma'am? You knew I was a superhero, or thought I was a superhero at this point, and you asked me where did I go? I was getting my ass stomped,
Yeah,
or I was saving the world." But those are the only things. Like her character itself, like who she was to me, was very interesting because she wasn't like a pushover.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what sold it to me, that like it wasn't necessarily bad that she didn't understand that why he didn't tell her, because she was like, she showed from the beginning that like, look, I'm not soft. Dude tried to punk me and tried to punk you, and I'm not afraid to fight back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she gave like kind of her like ground in the beginning. Was like, this is what I am. So I can kind of understand why they made her that way. I didn't like that she kind of came back on her words though at the end and was like, yo, I'm sorry, and then gave him that hook at the end. I was like, nah, I kind of feel like this ain't necessary.
So I'm with you. Like you said, I agree. I see why people are mad. Hear me out. When I say that, I mean like she, quote unquote, knew for a couple of weeks. When she got upset with him, and it's because of the fact that he felt like she wasn't worthy enough to know. So that's what pissed her off about the whole damn thing. Like every time he skipped out on something like that, she was just trying to initially get him to tell her the truth, which would then make it feel like, okay, see, now you trust me. Now I can give you my all because you gave me your all. So I think she was pissed off about that. And that's what they tried to explain, but they didn't do a great job of explaining that part of her character, because her, like you said earlier, her character is all about being this strong, capable woman. So like with him knowing that, he should know that I can tell her this and she will be, supportive of that. When she came back, she really felt like she was going to lose him. Like he was going to die. So
right.
That I do understand why she came back like that. Like I'm about to lose it. Yeah. Like he was literally about to die. So like, I mean, that's more understandable, even though we don't want that because we want him to be with Eve, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's completely understandable why she decided. Like, and that's what I like about Robert Kirkman's writing, is because it's so grounded that you gotta kind of think around some of the stuff. And I think the way they established her character kind of helped with that, even though it wasn't as obvious. So
there was a specific moment in this show that I wanted to talk about too. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about this with Monique, because Monique, that last episode, she said she almost couldn't watch it. She said it was a little bit just too much for her. And I get it, right? That fight between Invincible and Omni-Man was intense as fuck.
Yeah, it made me wince a little bit.
The part that really got me was, I think the part that got a lot of people, was the train scene.
Yes.
Where he grabs Invincible by the back of the head and just holds his face to the train as he stands there floating in the air and letting the train just blow up and crash into them and watch everyone die.
Kids,
and then you just see the tears
people.
fall down Invincible's eyes, and you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
What happened there?
It was heavy.
And I've seen a comparison to that specific scene. And do you remember the Call of Duty mission, No Russian?
Oh, absolutely. Never forget No Russian. So
I'm like, I can kind of see the relation there, because
100%.
it was a complete overkill show of force.
Yep.
Like everything Omni-Man did there. Like, and here's my thing, right? As if I put myself in the seat of a Viltrumite, I kind of understand why Omni-Man did what he did. But living 30 years on Earth, you still think of your wife as a pet, like that's a little hard, bro. Like I was like,
yeah, but if 30 years is literally a trickle
of time,
a trickle out,
probably already hundreds of years old,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. Like it, and again, the show does a great job of explaining this. Like when he went to that other world and destroyed that entire alien race, basically that kept invading Earth and kept dying because of the time situation. When he went there, he was gone for months and months and months, but like it didn't affect him.
I was gonna say, I think they also said though, like that time zone, that area they live in is like no time, like they don't age at all.
Yeah, past a certain point, it's just like you stay the same age essentially forever. It's crazy. It's crazy to even think about, because again, if 30 years is like a couple minutes to you, why would you give a fuck?
And you're right, he shouldn't. And then like also his goal is the grand scheme of like reestablishing his alien race, right? And I'm like, I get that, and it's still hard, bro. It's still hard. Yeah,
but I talked about this with Gates. I told him, I'm like, to me, he felt like he was more like Thanos. I'm like, nah, because Thanos was a little bit more reasonable with his ideologies. Like his ideologies made more sense to me. He's more like Omni-Man is more like fucking Frieza. Like, if you don't get behind what we have, like what we have planned, then we're just gonna destroy your world. Like that was essentially Frieza. So it's like,
but Frieza was also a little bit more evil. Frieza didn't have that reason, and Frieza was just like, I'm stronger than you, I'll kill you. But that it should
or enslave you.
That Omni-Man isn't even the strongest of them.
Yeah.
And now we know from the one-eyed alien dude that they might be pulling up anyway.
Yep.
Since Omni-Man's not there, now we have to worry about the rest of the Viltrumites saying, okay, well, we didn't get what we planned. Now we got to come do what we came to do anyway.
So, bad news and good news. We know that it's going to at least last 2 seasons.
Well, it's got 3 seasons.
Yeah, 2 more seasons is what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I said it's bad news, because they should have announced the 3rd season. They should have just gave us the 2nd season and then announced the 3rd season after that, just so we wouldn't know that there's more to this shit. Because if they would have came through, if they pulling up in the 2nd season, we wouldn't know what like it could be the end, you know. But they got a 3rd, so we'll see what that's about. You know what else I liked about this? 2 things. The fucking voice acting was phenomenal.
Agree.
Incredible. And the music was real good in this fucking show.
I seen complaints about the animation for this, and I'm like, it looks like any other comic book animated series to me. And if anything, like it might have had a couple of better moments.
Mm-hmm. You could tell the budget was a little bit higher, but like it's just Batman or the Justice League art style, pretty much, or animation style.
The sound design, though, like the music and the explosions, and when I remember they was fighting the seismic dude and the earthquakes and that kind of stuff, all that shit was great, bro.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoyed it. And I guess America, we do a pretty decent job of sound design. Mm-hmm. Not always good, but we do a pretty decent job of sound design on our like animated series. So this one didn't drop the ball at all.
I enjoy the actual like literal soundtrack. Like there was a soundtrack attached to this cartoon, which is dope, which is not normal in anime. It's like the soundtrack was created for the show in anime, but in cartoons it was literally just like a collab of people coming together and creating actual songs that are just like legit fire. So
if very few anime with soundtracks, with Parasite the Maxim being only one of the few I can think of.
Those are actual songs.
Yeah, they got like a 13 song track list.
Sick, dope. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to another thing that came out this week. That's Yasuke. Boy, let me just jump this one off by saying, you ever just watch a show and the entire time that you're watching that show, you just think to yourself, like, why the fuck am I watching this show?
We know why you're watching it, but yeah, I felt the same way.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I was so disconnected from this, and I didn't want to be. Shout out to @_Rob J. He like, yes, this fucking soundtrack in this show is incredible too. Like
it was by far the best part.
Yeah, the OST is fucking phenomenal. The opening song is probably one of my favorite opening anime songs ever. Now, the ending song was absolutely incredible, and then just the music in between scenes was beautiful, just beautiful. But the show, I don't fuck. It's
So before we go too far, I just want to say, I saw Strange Keith say something about this on Twitter when he was talking about the show, he gave his initial thoughts before going into details, but he just straight up said 6.5 out of 10. And I don't think that's a bad rating for this.
Yeah, I even think you could be lower, to be honest.
I agree, because I was thinking the same thing. But the show, it kind of dropped the ball for me, and I was expecting something a little bit more historical, almost, I guess.
Yes, and that's how the trailer sold it.
But as soon as you get like 5 seconds into the like, it turns on, it does all the little opening intro stuff, like, hey, this is who produced it, and then it goes to like 5 seconds in, you got this giant mech cutting people open. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what they try to do. They try to subvert expectations in that first beginning fight. You could tell that shit was out of place too. Showing mechs and magic in the first 5 seconds was intentional, just so they can try to establish that, hey, this is going to have mechs and magic in it. But it still didn't work.
And I can even deal with the magic.
Me too.
But the issue is like who the character is, right? Yasuke is a real actual character. Oda Nobunaga is a real actual character. And I get it. A lot of the characters in the anime and stuff we watch are actual people and characters. But you got the first anime ever being made about a character like Yasuke.
Well, second, technically, if you want.
Okay, second. But this anime being made about this character and with this amazing studio, and you got it being so heavily based around some like
otherworldly shit.
It doesn't draw anyone in. Nope. It didn't draw anyone in. And if anyone's giving this a 10 out of 10 or even 5 stars out of 5, I'm strongly reconsidering like your understanding of like, I don't know, processes and how these things should actually work out.
I want to say it's not that it was like even the mechs just didn't belong. Okay.
That's not the only thing though. That's not the only thing.
Definitely not the only thing though. Like for me, and maybe this is Netflix fault for limiting the episodes so drastically.
That's what hit me too.
Yeah, it's so sparse into like even giving you a chance to give a fuck about anybody. I didn't care about this little girl. I didn't care about her mother. The only person I did care about was Yasuke, and like that's it. Like like for everything felt so what's the word I'm looking for? Unearned.
And I felt like, so because of the 6 episode thing, and I was starting to talk about this a little bit in Invincible. Invincible did it well with 8 episodes, 45 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. Yasuke did this horribly. Yeah, like the animation and sound design was good, but like when it came to telling the story and giving us like an actual foreground/background of the characters, there was only foreground. We only saw what was happening right now, and they tried to do these flashbacks that didn't really land well.
No,
because there wasn't enough foundation to build on it, and it just wasn't like, it didn't capture anybody. So that was bad. And then they also gave us this little girl character, which the little girl character wasn't like the worst character in the world, but it almost felt like Yasuke had a back seat to her a lot of times. Like this is his anime, and yet now she's taking the lead role.
Yeah, it none of it fit with anything. Like I don't understand why. I don't understand why this was the route that was taken. I just don't get it. Like you have this entire story, even with the flashbacks. If you just put in a flashback in these, what is it? How many episodes we have? 6 episodes?
6 episodes, yeah.
Jesus Christ, I don't even feel like it. I feel like 3, to be honest. If they just put all the flashbacks in these 6 episodes, spread them out fine, showed how bad him coming up from being a servant to a samurai in the Nobunaga's way, and it made what they gave us in the first fucking minute of the show, made that the end of these 6 episodes. We would have been good with that. Like, show him training and becoming a great samurai. Show him fucking tearing people up and people being afraid of him. Or the historic piece of it where people actually started to worship Yasuke because they felt like he was like a Buddhist god because of the way he was built. He was tall and dark, like the statues of the Buddhist religion. So it's like there's so much shit they could have done with this that just that fucking pissed me off. Like I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, not now the shaman dude and the bear wolf chick is now fighting with Yasuke because the little girl apparently talked to him in their head.
We didn't get any details about it.
No, when and why and how. This shit was terrible. This shit was absolutely terrible. Now a lot of people watched it, so it's going to get more. Unfortunately, like the blood of Zeus. But this was bad. Thank God for the music and the animation though.
It was big bad, and also, well, I wanted to say my biggest issue with how they made this like a fantasy, like an over fantasized fantasy kind of series. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't have gave us the whole slave racist stuff. I guess it's like how I feel like it's so futuristic and fantasy based that they could have literally gotten away without integrating that too. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be talking about race in our anime or whatever, but like it just didn't feel like appropriate. It felt like it was just something you're trying to push an agenda almost. And I'm the person who I'm cool with you pushing an agenda if it's for the right purposes, but this just didn't fit in this series with like the magical mech. Like, why do I have this dude with a giant magical mech? And like, okay, yeah, Yasuke is fighting a black shaman, which that shaman dude was dope to me because he was summoning Orisha and stuff to help fight. I was like, that's dope. That's the ancestors coming to help fight. But it just didn't sit well with like, a servant's always gonna be a servant. Like,
yeah,
we got giant mechs. We not past that yet.
They should have picked one. They should have picked a side to go down.
Should have picked a struggle, and they struggled the whole way through because of it.
Yeah, and I wish they would have just named him something else and not called this Yasuke. Like, and to make the trailer seem like it was going to be this fucking historic piece. Like, this was another Afro samurai telling of the Black Samurai story.
But Afro Samurai did it better.
Yeah, of course, because it was so loosely based that it didn't even you wouldn't even know it was that's how it was influenced. And they should have just done that with this. They should have just called the motherfucker I don't know, Mahershala, and then called it a day.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get out of this. You watch yeah, so I gotta touch on this show, man. I have to real quick before we go into get to know my check waifu all that. I just want to talk about one show, and that's that Osamaki show that I talked about last week.
Okay,
I had to tweet about it on our at my check waifu Twitter. This show is worth everybody's time. Every piece of it is worth the watch. I think. Yeah, man. This shit is, not only is it funny, the characters are so likable. The fucking story is crazy good. Like crazy good. But it's mainly the characters. The characters are great. And again, it's the way they move. The way they move will have you like, oh shit, okay. I like what you're doing here. And I think it's worth everybody's time. I just have to give this show a shout out again. Osamaki deserves more attention for sure. So,
since I have more time, I'll definitely be picking it up.
Please do.
I planned on watching it, but like I told you, with the moving process, I'm just cleaning like heavy today.
So, you want to talk about Vivy in the second half? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's talk about Vivy in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in my honorable mention real quick, and it's still the one I swear I thought you told me to watch it, but I guess you didn't. The Saint's magic power is omnipotent. This show, it's an isekai. It's not action based, but it's actually just really good. It's like a comfort anime.
Yes,
like something that just makes you feel good to watch. It's good. I recommend everyone watch it. If I feel like this 68% average score is getting is because people expecting like average your normal isekai stuff, and they're not going in thinking like this could be almost like relaxing and therapeutic is what it seems like. Just watch it. I just turn it on. I just enjoy it.
I love that. So that is this week's eye-catching shows that we watched outside of the two main topics being Invincible and Yasuke. Let's get to know my check waifu, shall we?
Let's do it.
I think it's my turn to read the question.
Yeah, I'm doing a random number generator. It should be like, what, 80 questions left, something like that?
It is 81. Okay, this is Get to Know My Check Waifu, where we roll a random number generator, ask a question associated with a number, and you get to know us a little bit better. This week is my turn to read the questions. Give us a number.
22.
22. Who is your real life hero?
Real life hero, I have to go with my wife and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my heroes, real life heroes. I guess you and I might be the same in this, but I don't really like idolize anybody.
Yeah.
Not really my lifestyle. But yeah, my wife and my mom would be the only two people I guess I would consider like heroes for me.
Exactly, because if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be as driven as I am today. So, I mean, that's an easy answer. Both of our moms are those type of moms.
Amazing women.
Yeah, they are. They're incredible. All right, so guess what, y'all? We have a phenomenal song from Auracane again. One of our favorites. Listen, let me tell you. He let us drop his new tracks early. This shit is fire, man. This shit is fire. I want to get the name properly for this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to our email real quick, and give it a proper shout out. But I couldn't wait for this week just to have the honors of dishing out this song. So when I tell you, Aura is gonna be a part of our team, y'all will find out about that soon enough, because we have our 3-year anniversary coming up soon.
Well, we'll be starting our 3rd year coming soon.
Our 3rd year coming soon. So it'll technically be our year 3. But okay. So he said he's got a new track for us, and the release date for the song is 5/16. And he said we get it early as always. Oops, didn't mean to do that. But it's called Pushing Daisies. This song is fire. Pushing Daisies by Auracane. Check it out. We appreciate you for letting us get these early looks at these gems. Rob, let me get a rating on this song whenever you hear it, and we'll see you guys after a break. And welcome back to Mic Check Waifu. Shout out to Auracane for that Pushing Daisies. Love it. Sick track. Remember 5/16 he's dropping that track, so make sure you guys stay tuned. His links, of course, will be in the show notes, or just go to auracane.com or his Twitter at Auracane. He'll be in the announcement of this episode. So the first thing we're going to talk about in this spoiler talk section of the show is My Hero episode, what was it, 5?
Yeah.
Episode 5 of season 5.
No, episode 6. Sorry.
Sorry. Episode 6 of season 5. What was your thoughts of this episode? Full spoilers, by the way.
This episode was boring, bro.
I agree as fuck.
Okay, I was actually worried. I said it during the break. I was like, I think me and Polo gonna have different views on this episode, and I didn't know if it was because I read it already, but it just felt like in the manga this was paced so much better, and it feels like they dragging their feet almost with some of this.
They are, man. Yes, I'm not even a reader, but I just feel like it's so bloated, man. It's just so bloated
go ahead.
They spent, again, I make sure I count every time. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes it took them to get to anything new in this episode.
Right.
Okay. That is just too long. I don't need you to tell me what just happened last week all over again. It pisses me off. And it wasn't even that special. Like, it wasn't even that big of a deal for you to have to recap.
Yeah.
Something about the pacing of this show has been so weird. It's like they want to hold out as much as they can for these 25 episodes. And maybe that's why. Maybe they just need to fill 25 episodes because the studio like, yo, we need a lot of My Hero because it makes a lot of money.
But there's so much content to the My Villain Academia part that just makes no sense to me why they would be doing that. Because there's so much reason. Like, if half this season is My Hero, My Villain Academia, high key, I might be pissed. Because there's so much like backstory that they could be giving us, and we'd be like, yo, this story is like a lore dump, and I'm kind of loving every bit of it. But I don't think they're gonna give us. I think they're gonna cut My Villain Academia down. But yeah, I agree. The way that they're dragging this out is not it, bro. And this next episode, if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen, I'm gonna be like, I can't believe this, because I think it's really only supposed to be 2 more fights left. Is it 2 more teams left? 2 or 3?
I think it's 3
because they had the first 2 teams, and I thought it was like a 3rd team, and then the final team is like with Shinzo on team B, on class B. And
are they fighting Midoriya?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, because I think Bakugo's squad goes next.
And Bakugo has the acid chick in it, right? Or is that... No, that's Midoriya's squad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's either way, this next episode, it should be a bit more interesting because of how it played out in the manga. And if it don't play out similarly, I'm just going to be like, this is confusing. And I'm going to stop complaining. I'm just going to watch it and just hope to enjoy whatever I see instead of being nitpicky. But I feel nitpicky right now.
I mean, yeah, even from a non-reader's perspective, this wasn't as good.
It almost seems slower than last season. Like the
first
last
5
season's issue had an issue with last season's episode issues were with like the backstories, like going back with the flashbacks and stuff. They really dropped the ball a lot with that.
Yeah.
But this season is just like
bloat.
Move.
Yeah.
Make things move.
Yep. They're giving us 13 minutes per episode when you put it in perspective, right?
The intro, outro, and 5 minutes of extra.
Yep. So it's about 13 to 14 minutes per episode, which is going too fucking slow.
Funny thing, because I just remember too, they did a flashback in this episode, but of something that happened 2 minutes earlier. I was just thinking about it because as soon as you said it gave us 13 minutes, and I'm just like, hold up, with that one of those minutes, it was like a run back of what happened a minute before. I was like, why did they even do that? I thought about that when I saw it too, because I think it was the dark shadow part.
Yep.
And when Yaru was making her thing, and they did it, and I understand the goal behind it, but it wasn't executed well.
Nah, man. It's I'm so sick of them telling me what these quirks do. Like big fist. Our fist gets big. And then like that's 45 seconds right there. It don't feel good right now with this pacing. And for some reason, man, over the course of from 1 through 3, they slowly began to slow down how they pace these episodes, which is just strange to me because it wasn't like this the first 3 seasons at all.
It also does not feel like, and this is what makes the pacing so weird to me, is that it doesn't feel caught up to the manga enough to be that serious.
Yeah, I just think they're just trying to drag it as much as they can so they can get this paper.
My Hero's about to be the new Black Clover. They keep doing this.
Nah, hell no.
We're gonna put Deku in a trash can.
It's much more popping.
I'm talking shit, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's rough though.
They can't keep doing this because this season's starting off worse than last season. Like, do you remember season 2, bro?
Yeah, I remember season 2.
Come on, when they had the tournament arc and the fight, they had the Deku versus Todoroki, and it was like ice and fire, and then boom, 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 and then it got right into the action the whole time. Just like, bro,
they put Midori in the back seat to start this.
And I don't mind that as long as they keep it good.
Me either. Like the 2 episodes before this one was fire. I love that shit. Watching Shinzo do his thing. I love every bit
creative because of what kind of character he is, right? Mm-hmm. And they could have done that with Yaruzu. What's her name? The red girl in the red suit. They could have did that with her. Like, gave us a little bit more like introspective on how she thinks now, and like instead of that like quick little Todoroki scene.
Yep.
We already seen that. We knew that happened. I mean, it's nice that you reminded us, but like, cool. You know, let's move forward and give us like better stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand how this onomatopoeia cork dude.
Yeah, that was funny. They did have a funny line in there about that though.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Like how would his quirk work in across seas?
Yeah. Bam, boom. It'd be dope. Yeah. My Hero's cool. It's just not. It hasn't been great. But you know what has been great?
What?
Tokyo Revengers, man.
Bro.
I have to say that this shit is
Tokyo Revengers.
I love it so much.
I hate it so much.
Bro, it just makes you just want more at the end of every fucking episode. Like, why does it end there?
It's doing too much to my life.
Yeah, bro. Like it's definitely setting up. I don't know. I just can't wait to see his resolve now after the end of this episode.
Yes.
What episode is this? Episode 5?
That was episode 4.
Okay, episode 4 of Tokyo Revengers. Full spoilers. Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, that suicide at the end was
so fucking tragic, dude.
Yeah, especially after like seeing, because his actions changed his life, right?
Yep.
Because he was supposed to go to jail for stabbing that dude and getting out and doing whatever, right?
Right.
But because he saved him, he ended up going down this route. We find out he's the one who pushed him in front of a train. And like they gave us that whole backstory of like, we'll always be friends. Don't you ever worry about that. And I was like, that's dope. Like, it, you know, like they about to walk in here and Naoto's gonna be like, he's not still your friend. But they walk in and he gonna be like, nah, bro, what's up?
Why? Like that's what. Yeah, we don't know, obviously, but
I think it's because like he was told to, and I think someone else may know that he can go back, because you know we do have that person who is sitting in the background like this, scratching his beard, pushing his glasses up.
Oh, so it's the dude. it's the other leader of the other gang that makes Mikey go bad.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, man, fuck this. This is a hell of a story, man. This is one hell of a story. When this season ends,
we're only at the crest of the story. We ain't even got to the main part
exactly.
yet.
When this story ends, I might just have to pick up the manga of this joint.
Mm-hmm.
Like whole time. I guess it's just that good because I'm like, I don't know where they're gonna stop at. I don't know if it's getting to season 2. I don't care. I need to know where it goes because this writing seems so quality, like quality.
From all the people I know who are reading it, they're saying hands down amazing read.
I believe it. Because it's so much writing in it that there's no way. Like there's no way.
Yeah, this might be a new mic check manga.
Right? Facts, man. No way. This shit is way too good. I feel like him accidentally going back actually made me laugh out loud.
Yeah,
it was funny as fuck.
And we didn't know it worked in reverse. With like him in the past.
Well, we should have though,
right?
But we didn't think about it. What makes Naoto the one who brings him back, or
the one who told him? He's the only one who he's told. What if he tells someone else in the future and it changes that?
And they are now the ones who can send him back or bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I do love this concept of time travel is where like his conscious goes back, but his body stays the same. Yeah. And if he stays gone for a week in that time frame, then his body is essentially in suspended animation for that week. I love how we learning along with the character like that. When you do that right, that feels always the best. That feels rewarding, if you will, to like the story of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Tokyo Revengers is special.
I don't agree with this 78% yet. Right now, it just seems way better than the 78%.
Okay, I'm about to say what? I think it's about a 7. 7.8 is pretty good. That's like 7.8. So that's pretty good.
It's not like I don't know what's bad about it right now to say that it's a 78%. Like I can say maybe the animation.
I was about to say the animation ain't that special. The intro and outro is
it's consistent though.
That's true. It is consistent. I don't like the art style that much though. I like the character art style. It bugs me a little bit.
Yeah, I like what's his name character, the one who just committed suicide.
And Hina.
I love his art design. Yeah, Hina, I love her art design.
Everybody else looks like doofuses though.
Yeah, Takemichi, I don't really like his art style because they make him look like super nerdy.
Yeah, real doofus like.
Like Naoto doesn't look nerdy, but he looks like mad young, which I guess he's Asian, so.
Yeah, what else don't I like? There's not really much else I don't like though.
Mm-hmm.
So
since we talked about that, can we talk about Vivy?
Yes, sir.
So my personal opinion of this episode of Vivy, this is the spoiler section.
Episode 6, right?
Episode 6 was a finale level episode.
Crazy.
Like,
and that's what they've been doing. It's been like, have you noticed that it's been 2 episodes that are like mini stories that each time the second episode of that, the second episode of whatever the first part continuation is always feels like a fucking finale.
Yeah, that shit's amazing. Bro, I don't even know. Like, I'm watching it, I'm listening to it, like the singing and the music in general, the fights and like how it's animated and then how the story is progressing, and I'm just like, bro.
Did something seem off to you to the support bot?
Which one? 205?
No. Our block.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I think the support bot cut off something, right? Because he came in right when Saika was about to say something and cut him off. Yeah. No. Right when the dude who was attacked in the ship and she brought out the water. Mm-hmm. He was about to say something about Saika, and as soon as he did, he jumped in and said, "Oh, you got trapped in by Saika too." instead of letting the man finish. And it's like, I just feel like I feel like that support bot is scheming.
Something's not right, man. I feel like I'm starting to feel like he's the one that's leading this path to be what is going to be in the future. I don't know how, though. I don't know how or why. I mean, I should say why is the real question.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but I think that's why when Vivy changes her actions every time, right? Like this episode gave us like a new like dynamic, almost like perspective on her actions. Like she said, look, I have a goal in life and my mission is to let people sing, like make people happy with my voice and my singing. And she said, and I'll be the one that destroys AI to make that goal accomplish that goal.
Right.
And she kills that Grace clone. And I'm just like, damn. I mean, like she going off. So I'm kind of like hype. I'm like, I kind of like your vindication, like how strong you feel about this. Like you want to make sure that humans can survive at the cost of AI. Like, all right, let me see what you do. But at the end, when do another episode with a suicide, commit suicide in that temple, and you see her kind of like have that blood on her hands, which is literally blood. Like
both the blood of AI and the blood of a human.
Blood and human blood. Mm-hmm. And her eyes, like, they shake, and it's like, what's next? Because that's what made it really feel like a finale. Is like,
right.
That's almost made me feel like, well, what happens next in season 2? I'm kind of worried about her itself. Like, is this where the AI goes corrupt?
Man, I think she's conflicted now, because now that she killed the AI to support the life of all humans so they can hear her sing, but the human killed himself because of what she did. So now she's like, what? I just fucked up. Now, not realizing that what she did was basically rip apart love, even though she had to. Like, what else would they could have done with Grace? Grace was just done. And
for the greater good.
And just period. Grace wasn't even there anymore. Like she was just gone with no way of being recovered. But it's hard to believe the support bot. Maybe they could have grabbed her somehow, pieces of her consciousness. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe anything that support bot says, because every action that he said to do, she has done something different. And this is the first time that he said do something, and she just kind of went through with it, right?
Yeah, almost to the T.
And this is the result.
Yep.
Right? Ooh, but like before, when she didn't necessarily go by what the support bot said, while things may have still ended up bad, no one ever had this kind of outcome.
Right.
Yeah, Elizabeth and Estella died, but did the humans die? No. Did anyone else feel like hurt or anything like that? No. It was all like, it was a success basically. And she did not do what she was told, but this time she did what she was told, and she had just like basically a malfunction.
It was because it was essentially a mission failure, right? Like she didn't save the human. Boy, oof.
Vivy is just, in my opinion, I'm surprised that this is a sleeper. Like, I mean, I'm not after watching it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
we not seeing this on the timeline enough.
We not. That's why we try to spread it every time we talk about it. Like, it needs more love. I still personally think that this is better than Tokyo Revengers. Maybe it's my writer's bias, but I really do legit feel more captivated in this one, even though I'm captivated in both of them like just fine. This one just feels it has a stronger structure that I'm enjoying.
I think that they both Tokyo Revengers and Vivy are giving us like a story that feels like there's multiple lines to the story. Both of them actually technically have time travel in them, which is funny.
Yeah, one's going forward, one's going back. Holy shit! Wow, the contrast. I think I just lost Till. Till looks like he froze. Yeah, he froze. Anyway. Vivy is definitely my favorite this spring season. I like Tokyo Revengers. It's definitely the hard second. But Vivy is first. All right. Well, with that being said, I think Tel froze, so he might have lost his internet. I'm gonna sit here and vent for as long as I can. But I think that would wrap up this week's episode. This week's episode seemed like it was a short one, huh? Yeah, it might have been a real short episode, but a good one, a juicy one. Talked about Invincible. I'm gonna try to go through the recap. Actually, we actually just got done with discussing Vivy. Vivy is a phenomenal show, one of our springtime favorites. Followed by and before that, we talked about Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers being one of the shows that feels like it needs, I guess no real introduction because it's just good, and we might even pick it up. We might even read it. Then we talked about My Hero and the episode pacing not being too good again for the second time. Something about these My Hero episodes have been rough. And then we had our break with Auracane song Pushing Daisies, which is releasing February 16th. Make sure you guys check that out. Remember, auracane.com or Twitter at Auracane. Oh, I think Tel's back. Hey, Tel. Are you back?
I am back. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. He's back. There he is. Okay. I was just actually doing a recap because and I left off at Auracane's song. I don't know what happened. What happened?
I don't know what happened, bro. I literally, I might be a ghost in my house. So you left off at the Auracane new track.
Yes, sir.
We also had to get to know Mic Check Waifu. Who is your personal hero? Because it's sure ain't My Hero Academia this week. The Saints Omnipotent is my personal
episode of the week.
Nice one for the week. It's just a really good season in general. Yeah. Osamaki, Polo.
Yes.
Polo's loving it. I'm going to pick up on that so we can talk about it a little bit more next week.
Real good.
We also watched Yasuke. What did y'all think about that? Was it really good for y'all? Did you like it? You going to watch season 2 when it come out? Okay. Invincible. Man, that was good, bro. Oof. We both enjoyed that. I would love to. I can't wait for season 2. I hope they hit just as hard on season 2.
Facts.
And we also talked about a small little topic: American anime. What do y'all think about the term itself? Like, did that American anime kind of hit home with you, or
it's real weird?
Bad, right?
Yeah, it's real. It's contradiction.
Weird, right? But yeah, that's episode 98.
I'm at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Telliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu on Instagram. And as always, Mic Check. I didn't have the setting selected, so I had to go to the setting and then press the button.
Oh no, it was good though. I also meant to say, because I didn't know you did the Mic Check echo like that, but on that trailer, the echo you did, it was like mic check, 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 check,
yeah.
check. It was perfect. I was like, Polo ain't playing today. He is not playing with us. I'm like, that's not the normal episode mic check. That is not the normal episode mic check.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu